Hello twin flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with a daily energy check. Thank you for following me and my channel. Thank you for asking your questions. I've been away for a couple of days, a couple of really busy days with finding material. Had a lot to cover, a lot to discuss, and a lot of places to visit. So yeah, but now I'm back in States. I'm actually in California right now. This is Big Bear, beautiful place. So yeah, let's do a classic read. Let's see what's going on. I might actually, because this is such a wonderful space, both inside and outside, that I'm thinking about, since I'm gonna be on a new adventure towards the end of the week, I might be recording a few readings ahead of time so that you guys can keep getting your daily updates, especially with certain important lunation events that we have coming up. In the meantime, let's get a card for Divine Feminine's watching. Have two cards. Wandering Path, Enjoy the Journey, and Journey by Moonlight, Believe in Magic. Yeah, we actually are approaching the full moon time. It's gonna be next week. I have to check the date, but yeah, definitely this is a calling towards working with the moon energy, working with the feminine energy. This is the time to embrace and thrive in this energy of inner knowing. Think High Priestess, think Yin energy, think about being in the flow and enjoying the process, and again taking us back to the element of water, which of course is feminine energy all together. Okay, so let's see what's, oh, and we'll get a card for Divine Masculines, of course. You see, only a couple of days and I'm already lost. No, I'm not, just kidding. It's a little chilly too, but it's like, what the heck. I'm in the mood. Let's do this. But yeah, I mean, it's pine tree forest around. There's a lake. And I mean, we're kind of in the summer season, but not yet, especially not at this elevation. Because there are also mountains around, if you're not familiar with this area in California. So it's still not that hot. I mean, in the daytime it can be, but in the morning and in the evening it's not really hot at all. So you'll probably see me more in sweaters and blankets the following days. Okay, let's see. We have Uncovering Treasure. So the message for the masculines is, beneath the surface lies great bounty. Yeah, something new will come to the surface at this time, so please pay attention to certain nudges, certain directions, where to go, what to do, who to see, to meet, what to discuss. This is going to be really, really important, because that's the part of uncovering the treasure, right? It implies that you're supposed to take specific action to uncover it. It's not just going to be right in front of you. It's just you'll need to make sure that you're actually making an effort. The universe will need to see that you are making an effort. Okay, now let's get into the reading itself. We'll start with the energy of Divine Feminine. Let's see what we have for Divine Feminines. I'm using the Spellcaster deck for this reading. I actually had to send some of my decks back home to New York, 'cause I was starting to get worried about my luggage weight, and I really didn't want to overpay ridiculous amounts just for a few extra kilos of luggage, and that could be the case, especially since I'm doing a lot of like jet setting, jet hopping. So that would cost me extra every time. So I had to sacrifice a few decks because they're actually pretty heavy. So we'll have a few less decks this week, but it's only for this week. Well, I don't know, actually, sorry, this week and for the next week. I am gonna be back home on the 2nd of June. So yeah, a couple of weeks of like chilling, taking it easy, but I have all the best decks with me, right? So including the new one that some of you may not have seen yet, or maybe you're just getting to know the deck together with me. So we'll see. And also what I'll do is I'll try a few new spreads so that it will give them the readings a new vibe that way as well, to keep it interesting for you guys. So for the feminines, we have the Chariot, 8 of Wands, and the Star. So Cancer and Aquarius energy. Yeah, so there is a lot of communication coming in about certain innovative approach to live in life, to do in mission, to being happy, to live in a healthy life, right? About wellness and mindfulness. You may find during this time there's something that just takes you takes you to a completely different level. I don't know, maybe you're struggling with nutrition and I don't know, getting your cholesterol low, or getting your iron high, or losing some of that extra weight, or whatever your goal would be, right? And maybe you struggled for a while, you tried a lot of things, and now suddenly something will come into your consciousness. So again, just like masculines, please be conscious, be aware, and do not ignore any of those signs, messages. This will be something big, something groundbreaking. So do not neglect those, and you can always do your further research, right? Check it out, but most importantly, give it a try, because it will change the quality of your life. That's what I'm hearing. Really interesting. Okay, for masculine energy, I'm gonna take the Dreams Awake Tarot. What's going on with divine masculines at this time? Of course, I have my Hermit Tarot cards so that I can get some messages between the twins at the end of the reading. Alright, we have Death in Reverse and Nine of Swords. Yeah, so there's been a lot happening with the eclipse season, and also with the lunation events, and some other astrological events happening in May. So what I see is that it's starting to kind of sink into DM's conscious space. I have literal goosebumps all over my body. I'm just very cold right now, so maybe better for some people who like the shorter readings, because I'll definitely make sure this one is not too lengthy. Yeah, so it the new energy starts sinking in to DM's life, and well, the irony is that at the moment they're actually noticing the struggle, they're noticing the disintegration, of the mismatch, right? Of like, okay, energetically I'm on this level, but in my day-to-day life I'm still doing things that are a lot lower vibrational, right? And it immediately goes into resonance, you know, in a negative way, in a negative meaning of that word, right? It starts almost like it starts making a terrible noise, you know, like if you're if the mic is not working, or you're turning on a couple of mics close to each other, they start doing this like terrible sound. It's like that. It's like that feeling. It's like, ooh, oh my god, what's that? What's happening? Right? This anxiety is it's manifesting itself as anxiety, because it's felt on a visceral level, on a physical level, on a subconscious level, first of all, by the body. So the body is sending those signals, and it's giving this sleepless nights, frustration, anxiety, confusion, right? Kind of that chaotic feeling. Certain distress. It's interesting, but it is something that is bringing DMs closer to that discovery, to that treasure. Beneath the surface lies great bounty. Oops. For the connection, I'll take these cards. We have the Lovers, Seven of Swords, and King of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, so essentially the twins are reconsidering what the templates of love really mean in day-to-day life. Remember, I started with it at the beginning, that right now those kind of themes are of interest, especially to DFs, and DFs most of the time take leadership in spiritual guidance, in the spiritual breakthroughs of the couple, right? So it's no surprise to me that it's on the conscious mind of DFs. For DMs, it's more on the visceral level, the physical level, but it's sinking in, it's coming into their mind space, right? Of what the twins are considering as a successful partnership, as a notion, a token of love in the physical, may not necessarily be that, right? And they've been burned before. They've seen those signs. They've been told that by someone that, I love you. They heard the I love yous. They heard this with nothings, right? Like, I don't know, I'm getting these visions of like being taken on expensive vacations or to expensive restaurants, right? Like, as a notion of love. But is it really? That's the big question. That's the truth that's coming to the surface right now, right? And why is it important at this time? Yes, in many stories, it will allow to heal certain unresolved issues from the past, from those situations where it didn't pan out, where it didn't work out, or there wasn't a love you, but then I love you forever, and then 2 months later it was sorry, goodbye, right? Like, it will allow to have closure to those stories. But more importantly, it allows, sorry guys, sounds like there's an airplane nearby, a local airplane. It allows twins to reconsider how they see these partnerships in the future. Maybe not just necessarily with a twin, with a soulmate, with whoever you see. Like, it could be with a business partner, right? It could be with a friend or a family member, right? Because those things could manifest in any relationships, right? Those material ways of how people supposedly show us their affection, their appreciation, the way that they value us, that they treat us, right? Like, this is all this total reconsideration, reset of material value versus emotional value and heart space. Okay, let's get some messages from DMs to DFs. So I'm starting to get carried away, and my body reminds me on a visceral level that it's cold. So DMs saying, but it smells so good from the pine trees. Like, there are pine trees everywhere, even like here, like just all around 360. So I'm in pine heaven. Have I lost everything? This is actually 9 of Swords energy that we just saw with anxiety. Do you even see me that way? You see, they also start doubting themselves when they see the mismatch that they thought they were, like, maybe they thought that, especially with certain topics, that they really nailed it. They were so good. Like, they were exemplary in how they were doing XYZ in life. And now they're seeing, maybe not really. Or maybe it didn't look like that to my divine feminine, right? Like, that it just starts hitting them. I sometimes wonder if you care and will you choose me. See how much doubt. That anxiety brings a lot of self-doubt. But that's the death and rebirth for you, right? Where there's this part of like the storm, the chaos, and then something new being born. Beautiful. Let's see what we have from feminines to masculines. Okay, got a few. Too afraid to talk. I'm terrified. You see something similar, guys? Different cards, but gossip only hurts more, and light. Yeah, so again, a lot of reconsideration for DS. Because of these new energies that are coming in, that are innovative, that feel like magic, that feel very new, very different, right? There is at the same time this feeling of light around, like, we are protected. There is light within us and, around us too. But at the same time, there is this fear of like, ooh, I'm not sure where this is taking us. Or if I'm gonna go further in this journey, will my DM keep up with me, right? I'm too afraid to talk, right? Can I talk to my DM about certain things I'm experiencing? Or certain new revelations that I'm finding, even about my own life, right? Because so often, as we get some new insights or innovative ideas, it also takes us back to certain stories of our life, to certain scenarios where we see that storyline in a new light. We see additional meanings, we see how how many more layers existed there, right? It wasn't all that black and white. It wasn't maybe just 2 shades of gray, right? Maybe it was 12 or all 15. Okay, so there's a lot happening with the energies. I'll meditate, I'll see what kind of format I'll come up with for tomorrow, for the next reading. But yeah, stay tuned. It's gonna be an interesting week, especially as I get inspired by this beautiful nature. A little bit of a break from big cities. I love you guys, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon. Don't forget to put the like, to subscribe to the channel, and to share it with other people who you think will benefit from this. I love you all.